What are the most common financial mistakes to avoid during divorce?
Some of the common financial mistakes that people make are thinking that they'll shift around assets. So a lot of times people going into a divorce case will think, oh, hey, if I just um, take money out of a joint account and shift it to my sole account, somehow I'm not going to have to share that with my spouse. Well, that's wrong because all assets get divided presumptively in a divorce case, irrespective of names on accounts or titles. The other common mistake that people will make is thinking that their spouse will not get a share of their investments or retirement just because their name is not on the account. And that's obviously wrong as well, because under New York state law, we have equitable distribution, and it is not driven by title, deeds, or names on accounts. So that is another thing that people do. Another common financial mistake that people make is they will not, if they're the moneyed spouse, they will keep doing overtime and they will keep collecting bonuses and everything, even when they see the divorce coming, not realizing that by increasing their income as opposed to deferring it, they are opening up the avenue for increased alimony and maintenance. The other thing that they may not realize is that there can be a double dip on bonuses, such that a bonus may not only increase income, but the bonus, especially if it's awarded after the divorce case is filed and deposited into their sole account, that bonus is still considered an asset of the marriage, presumptively. There may be some exceptions to that, especially if it's a performance for, or it's a bonus based on future performance. But generally speaking, that bonus is going to be considered marital property, such that the percent that accrued to that person's income before the divorce was filed and in that given year, that percentage is marital property, and 50% of that percentage would then be presumptively awarded to the other spouse. Another common financial mistake that people make in a divorce case is, again, not realizing that all income counts for alimony and child support purposes. So when I say all income, I mean things like obviously job income, but also investment income, also rental income. So that's something that people get wrong a lot, is that they don't realize that if they are getting rental income coming in, even if it's from a joint property, but they take that rental income and they put it into their sole account, that is income for them for alimony and child support purposes. And they can say till they're blue in the face, yeah, but wait a second, it's rental income from a joint property. The trick is, if you put it into your sole account and you file separate returns, now it's your income for maintenance and child support issue. The property itself would be a joint or marital property, but the income derived is obviously only, in this scenario, only going into your sole bank account and only being reported on your sole tax return. So it's something to bear in mind when you're facing the prospect of a divorce case. Another potential financial mistake that people make is not realizing that if they continue to accrue assets during, going into the marriage, but possibly even going into the divorce case, but potentially even after the divorce case is filed, that they are creating more assets that their spouse would share in. So as an example, people commonly continue to contribute to a 401k account, and they don't realize that after the divorce is filed, the best possible thing that they can do is to set up a segregated account and therefore freeze the money that is quote unquote marital, set up a sub account with their employer and the 401k plan administrator so that they can segregate out the post filing contribution to their 401k account. When you go to divide 401k accounts, it can sometimes be problematic to divide out what interest accrued, or, I call it interest because I'm old school, but it's actually the market-based act or passive appreciation on your actual asset that's invested in the 401k account. People don't realize that it becomes very, very difficult to segregate out the interest that accrued on the marital portion of their 401k versus the separate property or post-commencement portion. And because it becomes very difficult to determine that, a lot of times even the post-commencement or separate property aspect of their 401k gets lumped in and doesn't get segregated out from the original marital portion of their 401k account. And therefore, they're in effect giving their other spouse more money than what they would otherwise do. You won't often find this advice coming from a divorce attorney because divorce attorneys, by their very nature, were legal experts, but we're not financial experts. And so one of the very best things that people can do is to meet with their accountant and, or probably even better yet, meet with a financial planner who is knowledgeable about couples going through a divorce proceeding so that you can get that type of advice. So those are just some of the common mistakes that people make in going through a divorce case that came to mind.